Are you looking to get a Barkeeper in Age of War Chapter 3, but afraid your base might get a little bit messed up because they made some whoopsies with the update? It's okay, I got you today. Whether you're in a clan or if you're a single player, this strat's pretty handy because your main base doesn't get messed up at all. You may have seen my doing the level 10 purge and how not worth it is. A lot of people didn't understand the concept of don't do that and you don't need to do that much. That was kind of like the point of the video. So I'm doing like how to get some stuff that you don't even need to level up, which is incredibly handy, especially if you're a solo player, if you're newer to the game, or if you're just starting out in the game and you want to get a Barkeeper pretty early on and you don't have much stuff. I'm going to show you how to get the stuff to defend your purge. So like I said, we don't want to be doing a tier 10 purge to be getting a Barkeep. It's not worth it. And you certainly don't want to be doing it at your main base. So you want to build some type of thing like so, with a few little traps if you desire. You don't have to. You can get thralls, you can get animals, but for the easiest way and the cheapest way, you want to gather yourself some golem parts and some resurrected corpses. We'll go into that in a moment. Essentially, you want to be in a nice openish area, although not mandatory. The purge does struggle to get your base if it's too high up or anything like that. You need a clear path from somewhere that they can spawn if you know nothing about the purge. You need some form of stairways if it's raised up, otherwise they can't reach your treasure room. A couple of doorways, don't even need doorways if you build your trap rooms right. I have these little rooms here because I will then be putting stuff like the golems in these rooms here. So if they get through, they'll get got by them. I'll have a couple on the outside. You don't need to. You can have just archers up here. I'll show you how to get archers really, really easily, which also goes into our getting zombies really easily. The best part about the archers is you don't need to level them up. You don't need to put armor on them. Their most important part of them is to shoot gas arrows and slow down some of the dudes. This is important if you don't have a whole lot of weapons or a whole lot of thrall capability. It's pretty easy to get up gas arrows. I have a whole different guide on gas arrows. Check that out for levels and all of that you need. You might not be high enough level to do that, which is fine. You can implement some or all of these strats in this video. Change it to suit your play style. It's just an example showing you what is possible. Mold it to your liking. Use a whole bunch of saber cats if you have access to them, etc. These guys are just nice because you don't have to level them and they're really easy to come by. They're practically free. But to be fair, if you have friends, you don't even need thralls. Just build some type of mazy thing, maybe like the one from my other example video, just to slow them down a bit, and you and your mates can chop everyone down because we're only doing a tier 1 purge. As it's perfectly possible to get a Barkeep in a tier 1, you do commonly find them in pretty much all of the purges. You can have terrible RNG and not find one for ages, and that's why I recommend just doing the easiest level purge. Not only that, is you don't need much treasure to access that, so that's fun. You can find these treasures in boxes while you're searching for your golems. Great places to search is around Sepumero, heaps of boxes around there, heaps of golem parts, lots of gold and silver to be found, which can also help us for getting the zombies. I have a separate guide on Sepumero. Some of the loot is outdated in that guide, but all of the boxes and the thrall spawns are still pretty much the same. A couple of events have been added in there. I'll do an updated guide at some point, but for now, it does have the box locations. I also have separate guides on where to learn golems on exiled lands and Sipja, but for now, I'll quickly add in, if you don't know, you got to come and talk to a little guy over here who hasn't spawned in yet. Over at Mechamoses' Spire, he's one of the few merchants who still exist. Don't bother trading your blood crystals for the pieces. Definitely look in the boxes for your golem bits. Learn golem construction, you're good to go. Build yourself one of these contraptions located in the golem section of the crafting. You may also want to build yourself a bench that you can upgrade some of the golem bits with, or even make some attachments for them. And for the higher level pieces, crystalline bits are more commonly found when you're doing dungeons, but you can find them in boxes about the world. Iron golems will do just fine. Different torsos also do different things. So brimstone torso is gonna emit a noxious gas, so that's kind of nice. The lotus burner ones give you a buff if they're following you, but you have to put lotus in there and it's very annoying process. I go into all of that in the other golem video. You can upgrade them in the bench if you just have like a regular head, although I don't have that unlocked currently. Then you put them in your golem shaper, depending on different combinations you do of different bits and different iron and stone and stuff combinations, because you can combine different classes, you'll get different outcomes here. But we can do something like this or something like this. It'll be fairly similar. Then you simply press craft on your golem. Make sure you're not over encumbered because you can drop your stuff and then pick it up afterwards if you don't happen to have a box blocks nearby. And your weight does corrupt you ever so slightly. You can also get them to do things like harvest stuff for you. They're not very good at being placed on sandy areas, and essentially just place them about as you desire. You can't level them up. They already just come kind of OP. You can't heal them or anything. They will eventually die. They're a nice cheap throwaway option. Once they do die, you can also harvest them for a little bit of blood crystal. While searching for those golem parts, you've probably found yourself a little bit of gold and silver. That gold can be used not only for summoning a purge, hopefully you found a little bit of treasure too, because if you haven't found any of the gold for our next little trick, you can also trade in your treasures here and get gold exchanged, which is quite handy. I also have another gold getting guide on alternative ways that don't involve treasure at all to get stuff. So if that's more your thing, harvesting and killing shit, go check that guide out. But we want to make some zombies, and we'll need to have some thralls to do that. You can catch them fresh. That's a butt ton of effort, and especially because we got all that gold we've just been talking about now. We can easily buy ourselves up some of these dodgy dudes from Sepumaru that are sold over at Flotsam. As this guy is a tier 3 fighter that I got from over there, and I do believe this one here is the Sumerian Berserker. Yeah, so that's not worth it. You definitely might as well just go buy a whole bunch of these guys, which I'll go into in a second. You will need some sorcery unlocked. I have a whole sorcery leveling guide, also just a promo for other guides, but it is a little bit easier than going through everything every time, and those guides are a little bit more detailed than what I'm going into now. But you will need some level of sorcery, and you place these guys out and place a thrall in there. I don't have the level of sorcery unlocked in my game right now, so I'm going to go into creative mode, which unlocks a whole bunch of recipes for me. I can then go craft. You do need a little bit of space around your graves from this end for them to summon. We're doing the Berserker. It does take a smidge of a minute, and I do believe you get a little bit corrupted from this also. Maybe not. No corruption. But I sworn you did. And this guy came out real shit, so that's fun. Let's try this guy again. It is a bit of RNG also with the crafting of these guys. See, that guy didn't craft out so good either. So you're definitely better off trying your luck with just buying these thralls. And another fun thing about zombies is even without points in authority where you can have a war party and increase your maximum followers, you can actually have a whole bunch of them following you. I think it's 3 following you. And if you have war party, that's 4. If you do happen to get a thrall to follow you, they will stop following you. So it's either 3 zombies or 1 thrall, or 4 zombies and 2 thralls. Or some rhino mounts, because they count as a mount and a thrall thing, so you can have them and a follower also, so that's fun. It's also incredibly beneficial to have yourself some archers for this expedition and some gas arrows like I was mentioning earlier, so you can actually keep some of the thralls we get here and use them as that and turn the rest into zombies. Although archers don't make for great zombies, you probably do want to turn just fighters into them. Again, a little bit of random RNG, but I found from my testing I do tend to get better ones from the fighters from here, and in fact actually the dancers roll out pretty good. And a dancer is pretty handy also because corruption when doing certain things for this. So heading over here, you can head up to this top level where Shamala the Pirate Queen resides. Over here at Flossium, talk to this merchant here, Weber Shemlock, buy some archers and some entertainers. You can get random different chances of from tier 2 to named ones, and they're all from Sepumaru type 1. So you'd find like Luba the Luscious and the 100 Arrows Lady and stuff like that. I don't think, oh, Lissa or Longbow, things like that. We only got 1 named dude that time, but that doesn't really matter. You probably want to aim for using the named dudes for keeping as regular thralls, putting on our little podiums. And down here by the beach, there's a whole bunch of animal merchants about if you happen to want some of them for your base defenses. Things like spiders are actually alright because they're pretty cheap to tame and you just put them around everywhere and they'll spit shit at people and cripple them. Sand reapers are great. See my pet guide. And we talked to this one. We don't need alchemists, but they're handy too. So let's get some fighters. We happen to get Gothraid. That's a rare chance to get from here too, which is pretty handy. If I was starting out, I'd be stoked right now. Just because not even for taming factors, I'd be able to make much better tools with him for acquiring stuff for them. And also it makes them tame heaps quicker. So we also got nothing too crazy, but we'll turn them all into zombies anyway. Doing the low level tiers is a great way to get up a whole bunch of zeal and hides also. So I highly recommend having your daggers and skinning knives available and having some form of expertise. Probably having efficient harvest is best. There's a couple of tricks and tips that you can do, but I got, again, a different god harvesting guide for that. But you can get a butt ton, especially if you're farming it a few times for that barkeep. With those ones that you're not turning into zombies, place them up on some type of platform or raised little bit. It doesn't really matter. It does work best with archers if they can't get around too much because they're kind of stupid. Don't need to level them, like I said. Take their bow off them and put a better one on if you want, but again, doesn't really matter for this strat because we're just trying to give them a whole bunch of poison. Again, separate poison gathering guide. Pop that on there. You want to equip it onto the bow. I don't think they've fixed that, so definitely equip it onto the bow to make sure they use it. You can put some added food in there that makes them do more damage, or don't. They're not going to get affected. If they are too close together, you probably want to put some gas masks on them. You can check out my gas mask guide for further details on the different ones that are available, but setup masks are really cheap, especially if you're gathering up some zeal. You can start off with like just doing golems and work your way up to getting all of these guys. Start off slow, build your way up, you know, examples. You don't have to go to even all of the level of having all these spaces filled. You can really probably get away with just doing this and helping out yourself. If you want it to be more entertaining, place more dudes, etc, etc. I'm gonna tame this Dancer 3 into a zombie. For some reason they tend to tame out really good. Unless they're ILLIBET the Luscious, she kept taming out really poo. Again, you can tame out any type of thrall, you can catch them yourselves. These guys are just a pretty high tier 1 and easy to come by. You don't have to even tame them at all to acquire this, but you don't even have to tame thralls and put them in your wheel first and then put them here. You can drag a fresh thrall to a grave also if you didn't know. So she tamed out pretty decent for a random tier 3 dancer. We'll take it. And they also get random buffs. And by putting rotten meat on them, you're going to get an extra buff again. Who has their rotten meat? This guy is now getting an extra 25% damage bonus. And you can also put potions on them and they'll get an extra 15%. You can feed them a food and a potion, so keep that in mind and they can be extra buffety. Gathering up a whole bunch of putrid meat's real easy. Get yourself a cleaver and hack up a skeleton. They give you so much. Also, you can put a whole bunch of meat in a compost bin and it will decompose pretty quickly and split it up for even quicker. Just go around and fill them up with a whole bunch of stacks of delicious snacks and give them little buffs. Keep in mind it is probably best with this strat to just have the foundations and the treasure room and all that straight on the ground to avoid any type of the thrall bugging out. Also, this might not be high enough. You've got to lower fence foundations and such and they might take that away. So yeah, you can just have some slightly raised around the side or use walls or fence foundations, whatever you like, and just have little pits about. You can have dudes standing on here also, poking away with pokey bits. Probably not going to be high enough though, so we'll see. Essentially though, they are just going to try and go through these doors. I may have to build this up. I'm going to have a go. Fences may work also. If you don't have sorcery leveled up, you feel free to just chuck the random fighters around and let them do damage, because again, the tier 1 purge is pretty easy to do even without any thralls. If you have a few friends or probably by yourself, just going to be a little bit crazy and you probably don't want to be low level. If you've already done higher level purges, you may have some battle standards which you can put out and use as defenses. Also in the lower level purges, not really worth it because they do cost some gold to buy and you need to find Iskar the sellsword. The good thing about zombies and golems though is they're not affected by the gas of the archers. Just go around and plop all them on once they're in their desired locations. Pretty sure I mentioned the brimstone golems are best had for giving a bit of a gas cloud also. That guy's leaving behind noxious gas clouds. This guy is super noxious gas clouds. You can put some healing arrows on some of them if you want your zombies to live a little longer. Potentially if you're doing higher level purges with zombies, that can help out a bit. And also yourself, you can go stand in the little health cloud. And we'll see if they've actually fixed the bugs, whether your thralls start fighting the golems or not, because that did happen in the past. You definitely want to keep them separated. So these guys could not work out on the inside, but we can put them on the outside. You need to place them first in the world and then place them in these little lottie locations. This way it'll stop him from getting into the doorway. You can put some shitty armor you've acquired from around the world for free on him, upgrade his weapon if you like, level him up a little bit, give him some food, whatever. We might give him a little bit of exotic feast. I don't think I want to give him that much though, but it'll give him a little bit of a strength buff also. Now you can eat some strength buff have two, or you can have some of them following you and have the follower damage buffs. And there's also potions that give you follower damage and a whole bunch of different armors that you can wear that'll also help out. Skellis Cultist Master is a nice, good, easy one to get. To make it abundantly clear, these are just concepts. You can build upon them, change them however suits your gaming style. Just some people don't play the same way and they may never come to these conclusions. Putting those out there for those people to then spark some things in their buildy creative world. There's a crazy thunderstorm going on outside, which is nice because it's really hot. And if at some point they do happen to change the purge where you can only get a barkeep from a higher level one, just put more of these guys out. You can still do the same thing, just do more of them. Don't even need to build the base bigger particularly. Now we've decided we're ready. Either talk to your treasure pile or to the little dude. The box itself won't do anything. You can just put coins and treasures in there. I'm going to put a fighter in the treasure room just in case they get all the way in. Proclaim our wealth, yes, and we hope for the best that they'll find somewhere while scouting. I'm going to exit creative mode so people can see I'm fighting long. You can add poison to your various weapons if you happen to have it. See my poison getting guide in the Scorpion dungeons, the best poisons to use. Eat your buffs up. I'm going to probably have follower damage on as I don't have any of these type of authority perks on currently, and make your way to wherever you've got your thralls that you want to be using. Eventually the purge will set up somewhere and you'll see their direction and then you can start attacking them. Where is the purge be? They'll ignore all this stuff, but you can be safe and wall it off if you like, just in case they run into it. Oh, we're purging up there, I see. Right near my vault and my bedroll. That's not handy. Should put my bedroll on top of my vault. Here they come in. They're very low level at this point. None of these gassy dudes are actually gassing them, which is kind of annoying. There we go. That's what I fucking thought. You can wear a gas mask yourself, can't help. Just popping a reduction kit on my Godbreaker helmet. Yeah, they haven't made it very far so far. If you do wall in these guys, they won't run away from your base like this, but that is where the archers are annoying because they do tend to shoot away and that kind of aggroes everyone else to the further away dudes. You can change your archer's shooting distance. See, these guys can get up and over this bit of wall, which isn't ideal for me right now. I actually can't change that because the purge is happening. Even in creative mode, I don't think you can change that. But it's not the worst. You can change these guys' behavior to attack distance lowest. Ideally, we would have had a little fence over here so these guys couldn't go up and over. I forgot to put that. Life's still not great for these guys though. I'm not sure if these gas arrows are doing the damage or if the gas golems are. I do believe that gas golem, it's a different gas color. It's a bit hard to tell. As the enemies run into your palisades and stuff, they will destroy, so you can go without doing the palisades also. Oh, I keep going to attack my zombies. They generally tend to do a bit of returning towards home anyway. And because it's such a low level purge, there shouldn't be too many people. Yeah, they're getting fucked up. You could even head up into the camp with the zombies and start killing them at the source and these low level ones. These archers tend to bug out on hills too. Excuse you, sirs. I think not. Oh, I'll just roll out then because you'll keep clustering me, you dicks. Try not to get caught in corners. You can generally roll out of that shit. I was trying hard not to though. They'll just run, but you could have a whole bunch of treasure right here. They wouldn't even care because it's not your coffer. Once a few of these waves have happened, you'll eventually get to kill a hand of war. If you're skinning all of these guys and getting their zeal at the same time, you'd get a butt ton. They're not even making it all the way down there at the moment to fight our base. We can kill them straight at the source. But if you're not level 60, that may not be the case for you. So we'll go back here and watch them not get into the base very well. They're also pretty dumb. They tend to not love to follow you even when you command them to. These guys may need to be repositioned just so they stop bugging out your other guys. It happens. Should have double checked that little bit there. That was silly. But yeah, walls tend to keep them in place a little bit better. Our Hand of War can't be too far. Pretty sure there's just still one thrall up there fucking shit up. One zombie, rather. Yeah. It's just taking on everyone. It's crazy. What are you doing, my guy? Can you stop doing that? Now he's here to challenge us anyway. So he's such a low level, he's going to have a lot less health to take on. He'll drop a couple of keys and stuff. You won't get Iskar, I dare say, in these low levels, but if you do, try to not open the cage unless you have your gold on you. But that was really easy. As you see, we didn't even need this many dudes. We could have just done it with our 3 zombies and camped up here and just waited. But it's better to be safe than sorry. Now, oh, we got to loot him. Where do you go? We got 3 keys. We got a couple of cages. You can oh, we did get Iskar. There you go. So have some gold prepared on you. We have none right now. This place tends to stay around for a fair while. We didn't get a barkeep, so we'll have to do it again. We get your spare gold out and get prepared to talk to him sooner than later because he'll just run away. Trade, and then you can buy some of these things which will help you out a bit. We can do that one. Trade. We still got enough to get some fighters, so we'll trade that and we'll get a combination. And then we can place them down. He's about to run off. You can also buy a whole bunch of other crud from him. Not really worth it though. You can open up your other cage or you can save your key. Who'd we get from here? A dancer, which could be kind of handy for you. Unfortunately, this method won't probably work in Age of War Chapter 4 because they're taking away the ability to have thralls in your inventory. But for now, it will work. You can use your last key to open the box and get whatever treasure is in there. You won't be getting bronze coins. And you can trade that in for more gold. Sometimes you'll even find the big treasures that you carry slowly sitting on top of the table. And this box is usually open and free after you've finished the purge, so you can get that stuff. Let's do another purge till we get a barkeep. We did get the ability to learn Jebel Sarg without having to go into the dungeon. That's handy. Beefed up my base a bit so they can't escape. Use this time to do all of that type of stuff. Place your things like your banners. We don't know which direction they'll be attacking from, but we do know they will be heading for this specific location. So you can put these guys around your door. You can only put one type at a time of the same kind, and they can't be too close to each other. Once they die, much like a golem, and they'll disappear. And you only get one of them to put out per purchase. And we're like, that should be good for them. You cannot change stuff like their attack distance and things. You can move them. Don't worry about those, they're mod things. We'll summon our little purge again, proclaim our wealth, confirm, and the quickest way out, just jump over your fence. And then we'll wait to see where they pop up. Also take this time to refresh any foods that these guys might need, etc. Woo. Where are we coming from? Easy when I'm in creative mode, I just run around and see. Fly around, rather. If it hasn't worked, it will tell you by now and will say the purge couldn't reach your base. Usually because you've got stairs missing somewhere or too many doorways. Oh, they're right here. Jesus Christ. This would be fun. Oh, weaponize your weapons. I've popped all that somewhere else, but you can repoison your weapons. These guys should be doing pretty decent to mess everything up. These palisades won't last very long. This guy is very bugged out. Let's unbug him. Sometimes that happens with followers and you have to place them again so they do stuff. Those guys might die just by our own gas. Ooh, he's almost dead. Not sure if they're affected by gas or not. Yeah, they are. This is where gas can come in kind of annoying. Plus then you need extra things like gas masks. But I'd say we'd do it pretty easily even without the gas innovation. You just want to use zombies, you just want to use golems. You get the idea. It's super easy. You can just keep farming it with very minimal effort. Having a little bit more effort is good just in case it does spawn so close to your base and you don't have enough distance to fight them if you're like solo or low level, or you just don't have very many defenses going on. Yeah. Try and have more zombies and stuff. Defenses, I mean by like levels and armor and stuff like that for yourself. You can even come in and suss out the cages. So we have gotten ourselves a barkeep. You can generally tell because they're wearing this type of clothing, looking all luscious and not cowering. If you happen to have spare keys, I do believe you can open the cage straight away, but probably don't do that. These guys are going to die straight at the source because they're so easy. And then you can skin them all in a pile, which I'll show you in a second. It makes for some of the handiest farming you could come by. So what we'll do is get that and that. You can skin them all once like this, and all the ones that don't disappear. You have a chance, if you have the double harvest on, to get double zeal by going like that. You'll also get up a whole bunch of little fleshy fingers for wishing into blood. But just from that pile, we almost got 2,000. We've got a victory now. They've killed the Hand of War. If you just stand and kill them all at the source like that, fuck tons of hide and blood and zeal. Not sure where he is, so you may have to go around and look for him. At least he's the only guy that has anything in his inventory, so it's pretty easy. If you can't find him, just wait until they all disappear and the loot bag will appear where he's left his keys. We can free our barkeep. Hey, love. Welcome to the team. Go over and see what we got out of our boxes. We did get a random what's it called? Exiles Extreme weapon in there. If you happen to have mods on there, that can happen. And this one, we got some more treasure, which you can trade in for some more gold to buy yourself some more thralls for some more zombies. If you happen to lose any, which I doubt it. We got a Precepts of Mitra. So this is definitely a very easy way to learn all the religions early game also. And let's see what this other trash thrall is. I don't think you can then knock these guys out and then be able to turn them into zombies, which is a little bit of a shame. But we do have our barkeep now, so we can stop our purging. It took us 2 tier 1s, 1,000 gold maybe, a little bit more because we need to buy some of these guys. Let's say maybe like 4,000 gold and a couple of golems, a little bit of building supplies. You definitely don't need all those gas arrows. You can just do it with the zombies and the golems that are leveled up. Just some zombies, just some golems, just you and your teammates. None of the followers at all. The options are endless. Try your best and get your barkeep hopefully into levels of a tier 1 purge, and hopefully Iscard the sellsword, because he can appear in a tier 1 too. This is the lowest I've seen him thus far, and as it is the lowest level one, we know it's possible now, at least for a while, until they inevitably change all the mechanics of the game again. I hope you found this information informative. If you did, smash that like button. Stay tuned for one of the helpful guides coming up that will help teach you about the game a little bit more. Have fun experimenting with your purges and your setups and your whatevers. Super easy. Don't go through all the effort. Until next time, I hope you have an excellent day, evening, night, morning, whatever it may be, wherever you may be. Have a good one. Me and my bucket hat.